The Indiana Hoosiers are a complete team. This is not a team that has a first round draft pick at quarterback, and that's who they really lean into. Fernando Mendoza is very talented, and that offense is talented, but the defense is actually a little bit better. In fact, if you look at most efficiency metrics, this is a top 5-2-3 defense in the country. It's led by Bryan Hains, who's been with Curt Cignetti since 2014, all the way back at Indiana University, Pennsylvania. He was with him at Elon. He was one of the architects of the James Madison defenses that were some of the best G5 defenses in the country. He's doing the exact same thing at Indiana. One way that this team really destroys its opponents is by attacking protections, and it's not even doing very exotic things. I'm going to break down a clip from the UCLA ball game that really shows you how this defense is structured and why it attacks protections so well. This is going to be an overload pressure here by Indiana. So you can see that we have an overload side. There's 4 guys to this side. We're going to end up with 2 guys over here, but we're going to get a dropout. In fact, this linebacker is going to take the flat. This corner is going to climb, and we're actually going to get a little bit of a steal concept here where we're going to get this safety to push over, almost like a poach safety. That way this safety can get deep. And then we have our vertical curl player here. There's a corner to the outside. This corner too will climb because our tight end is going to come across. They're going to try and basically create a 4 strong with that tight end. But this is really breaking down the pressure because against Oregon, being able to pressure, primarily target the back. I did a video on that over on MatchQuarters. And this is the same kind of thing. It's not necessarily attacking the back, but we are attacking protection. So you can see that the video here is showing you we're going to get this linebacker to drop out. We kind of have that fish hook kind of rush, that contain rush on the opposite side. Because remember, we're bringing a ton of pressure opposite that. So that defensive end really needs to be able to set the point. We're going to end up getting a wrap stunt here. So we're going to get fake, and then he's going to come back. We're going to get the wrap stunt here, and then we're going to get him to step to the A gap, and then we're going to have edge pressure off of it. So we've got a lot of movement here, and we're really going to focus on this wrap pressure here. So as the ball is snapped, you can see our nose moves over to the A gap. And once the linebacker goes, that guard's going to work back. We have our defensive end rushing. So you can see here that we're going to get that little kind of that Tex or X, however you want to call it. Now, I really like these pressures, especially when you have some sort of outside, because that tackle is going to be working here. All he has to do is cross the face of this guard to bring him, and then he's going to pick and then ricochet off of him. Once this guy comes across, if the guard comes over, and you're going to see this here, UCLA actually picks this up relatively well. As you can see, that guard sees him, 69 jumps back, and we have the running back there as well. So the running back steps up. He's able to pick up that wrap. The problem that we have here is twofold. If the guard picks this up, we're going to end up with 2 guys on the wrapper anyway. And who do we have? That pick player coming free. Even in a lot of these 2, even if the running back isn't here, okay, and he stays on. Now he's free to the back. If we have the running back is the guard stays on, right? And now we have a running back on a defensive end who's wrapping across. So they end up picking this up relatively nicely. In fact, the center comes back, picks up the wrap. All said, this looks really good by UCLA, but this is why you run these types of pressures is right here, is once you get that ricochet, there's nobody for him. He now has direct access to the quarterback, and now we end up with a sack. Going downfield, you can see that we have a cap defender here going vertical. Even if he comes back, we've got the corner on the backside. Really, the only way that this works is if he throws it right now to the tight end. Tight end's not even looking until he's sacked. So this is a good example of an overload pressure, and then using that wrap and that pick really nicely right here. He sets the pick, ricochets off, and has direct access to quarterback. And this is time and time again. The Indiana Hoosiers do a really nice job of pressure design, especially on third downs and getting off the ball. They're going to attack your protections and have some sort of an answer. Even when you relatively have good protection, we still get a free hitter on the quarterback and a sack for the Hoosiers.